Gertrude Young.
George isn't the only one that's been to the White House or know a president. I've been to the White House several times. I did have an invitation for the inauguration of President Clinton, and still have invitations now. But to the seriousness of all of it, the vision of our city, the main reason why we do not have the economic development and the strategic planning that we need is, first of all, the 10 years strategic plan that we were working on had been discombobulated during the last two administrations. I don't even know if Carl was aware that we had a 10-year strategic plan. The other reason is because we do not have a planning department. If you don't have a planning department with the vision, and we need an economic development department inside of that planning department to help from day to day, someone calling and making sure that our businesses are coming to Vicksburg, that people know about Vicksburg. Those are the things that we need. And the other thing that we need is for those citizens that don't have the voice. And I'm talking about our children. We need to recognize that we have to provide things for our youth. That's why they're so busy doing other things other than what they should be doing. So we get those extracurricular activities. We tie in with nonprofit organizations and churches so that we can develop programs for our youth and for other people, because there are federal programs out there where you can get jobs through federal dollars for our youth and for our elderly. Thank you.
David Day.
Thank you. My vision for Vicksburg and specific plans. First thing we have to do is clean up our community. We have this beautiful landscaping that was installed in the prior administration. We kind of let it go to the wayside. We need to restore that. Our main avenues into town need to be attractive for these 500,000 tourists who show up each year. They spend a great number of dollars in our community. We need our main corridors, Clay Street, Washington Street, where those landscaping embedments are. We need those to look good. That's the first thing. From there, I think we need to clean up our image. We've taken a couple of hits over the past couple of years. This has not been fun. We've seen our economy take a hit. Jobs and employment has, as of today, dropped down to 10%, but that's still too high. We need to get people back to work, but we need to clean up our community in general. City Hall. You know, we need to get a rec complex for our kids. Rec complex comes down to funding. It's that simple. How are you going to fund it? You can either do a private investment, you can generate a tax. Who wants a new tax? That's not going to happen. So the third option is a bonding. And if we do a bond on a rec complex, it's most likely going to need to be between the county and the city, because both will benefit from it. So a rec complex can happen, but we've got to have somebody who's going to be able to lead people forward to make it happen. We've got to tighten up the city budget. We've seen our payroll grow from 63% in 2008 to 71% last year. That's too much money we're spending on payroll. As someone pointed out, we have over 500 employees with 2,000 less citizens than we did in the 1990s when the casinos came. This budget has grown on payroll and personnel, and we need to stop hiring. We don't need to fire anybody. We need to get people who are near retirement to retire. We need to move forward with tightening things up in our community. We're going to have to make some tough decisions in this next administration about how we're going to get things resolved in our community. We need to clean up Vicksburg, be positive about how we're going to do it.
John Ferguson.
What is my vision for Vicksburg? Well, most of it was outlined in my opening statement in terms of that. But my vision for Vicksburg specifically is to see the unemployment rate drop, and that is recruiting jobs. Actively, aggressively recruiting new businesses that bring new jobs here. Jobs created, an atmosphere where people can do things for themselves. Jobs help businesses grow. Because if you're working, you're spending money. You're making things better. My vision is to get people working together in this community for all of the things that you say you need to do and you want us as leaders to perform for you. Surrounding myself with a group of people who want Vicksburg to grow, who have ideas about what can work and what can't. Listening to you about what you want and working for that continuously. Vicksburg, as I said earlier, is a great place to live, to raise a family, to retire, and spend your golden years together. My vision for Vicksburg is to provide the leadership that you need to make sure that what you want done, is what's being worked on. Thank you.
Linda Fondren.
I'd like to start a little bit and talk about education. I think education is very, very important to this community. We know that it is the teacher's responsibility to teach our kids to learn. It is the parents' responsibility to be supportive and make sure that they get their homework and not spend every waking hour in front of the television. And then we have our school board. It is their responsibility to support the teachers, the principals, and make sure that our children get the best possible education they can. But however, none of it will make a difference and none of it would matter unless our children show up for school on time. That will mean that as a community, we will need to put in the hard work that it takes to make our schools succeed. I would like to convert the Jackson Street Community Center into a Boys and Girls Club. This is proven that it works. There are effective programs there that show that our children will not end up as drug addicts, dead from suicide, in a gang. This will assure them that they're getting a good mentoring program, after-school programs. This is something the city and the county need to invest in. Now, I have to say that, of course, this is not one decision that one person can make. I understand that there's two other people that make this decision, but we also have to understand that this community needs to put in the hard work that it takes for education. So that is one of my top priorities and my vision. Let me move on to a competitive edge. Vicksburg needs a competitive edge. There are other cities out there that are competing for jobs. They are competing for our spot. If we're not sitting at the table or believe that we're worth investing in, nor would anyone else. So Vicksburg, my vision is to get a competitive edge for Vicksburg, and we have it because we have something other cities don't have: tourism.
George Flags.
That is a great question. I'm reminded of Ms. Ruth Dunlap that taught me political science and government that says that you can get a lot more accomplished if you didn't worry about who got the credit. That's what I've done. What I want to do is do what I said that I would do when I talked to over 500 people before I decided to run for this office. And I share with them. It was their vision. That vision is my vision. It's a shared vision. It's a vision that lady that told me that she couldn't come outside our house because she didn't feel safe. It was that person that told me that he hadn't had a raise. It was that person that told me that he thinks the city of Vicksburg could be better. It's the person that told me that nobody's been in the city of Vicksburg, in the mayor's office, that worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and did what the charter said they ought to do. That's what I want to do. What I want to do is be a mayor for all of you. I want to be the mayor that's accessible to you. When you call me, I call you back. When you write me, I write you back. I want to be the mayor that would work for economy, for working for economic development, job creation, working for fiscal responsibility, working for public safety, working for better housing, working for infrastructure improvement, working with the youth development, better education opportunities, working to increase recreation and tourism, working for the vulnerable adults and program for the handicapped improvement without raising your taxes.
Paul Winfield.
My vision of Vicksburg. When I was elected, I went over to Mission 66 Little League Baseball Park, and I saw the grass so high that it was as high as my waist. And then I drove across town to Hawes Ferry, and I saw much better circumstances. That wasn't my vision. When I got elected, a lot of people on the north side of town saw thousands of homes torn down, places where we grew up, where I grew up, where I'd like my son to grow up. Ladies and gentlemen, you may hear a lot of things come from this table, but nobody at this table can show you proof that our economy has gone down over this term. It has gone up. My vision for this city is a sports complex. We deserve it. We've paid down the debt. The last administration prior to me borrowed almost $40 million. Now we owe about $9. Our credit is on the rise. We have one more audit to do. We were 3 years behind on our audit when I got elected. Those are the types of things that we had to do internally to be positioned for it. We need to expand our convention center and bring a hotel. We're a tourism community. We've brought historic profits in over this term. My vision for Vicksburg is to be one of the 13 cities in the world that need to be visited. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't make it up. It's real. Vicksburg is on the rise. Don't get caught with the smoke and mirrors. God bless you guys, and think common sense.